Well, a very good evening and a warm welcome to UBC News Tonight on this 6th day of November 2021. Now, before we get into tonight's bulletin, let's first take a look at tonight's headlines.
Brought to you by
How to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
And in tonight's headlines, cannibalism sets KAGADI residents on edge. Akulo thanks God, Mugalu hospital after surviving COVID-19. Kasanda police chiefs arrested over land disputes. And in sports, Uganda ages Tanzania in Sekafa, goes top with 1 round to play.
Was brought to you by Everywhere you go, MTN.
Good evening once again and welcome to our first edition of UBC News Tonight on this 6th day of November 2021. I'm Lauryn Kazimoto, and on sign language we have Mohammed, Mugalu. Now we start off with our first headlining story this evening. President Yoweri Museveni has said that government commends and appreciates the efforts of the medical practitioners who have worked tirelessly and risked their own lives to redeem the lives of those affected by COVID-19. Now, in a speech read for him by Vice President Major Jessica Lupo during the 5th conference of Uganda Medical Association and annual general meeting at Silver Springs Hotel in Kampala, President Museveni said that health systems around the globe, and especially in Africa, are overstrained by heavy financial and non-financial burden of communicable and non-communicable diseases. We have the details.
President Yoweri Museveni has said that government commends and appreciates the efforts of the medical practitioners who have worked tirelessly and risked their own lives to redeem the lives of those affected by COVID-19. In a speech read for him by the Vice President, Major Retired Jessica Lupo, during the 5th conference of Uganda Medical Association and annual general meeting at Silver Springs Hotel in Kampala, President Museveni said that health systems around the globe, and especially in Africa, are overstrained by heavy financial and non-financial burden of communicable and non-communicable diseases. The president said that government continues to take deliberate steps to ensure that the health system in Uganda makes bold leaps ahead of other regional systems in provision of good health services, provision of alternative medication, and specialized treatment.
From the successes of our approaches, COVID-19 control could be applied to the entire health sector service in Uganda, within the African region and abroad, if we are to create a credible health system.
He applauded Dr. Opodoi Joseph and his surgical and pediatrical team of Soroti Regional Referral Hospital upon the successful operation of separating Siamese twins. He said that as the country mourns the death of COVID-19, they cannot be compared to the deaths in other countries. The president said that he will continue to fund Uganda's scientists to undertake research in indigenous medicine, including vaccine development of COVID-19, expand and strengthen the health system to cope with surging COVID-19 numbers by recruiting more human resource and procuring equipment and medical supplies and expanding infrastructure, including enhancing oxygen supply.
Research and innovation must be encouraged and supported at all levels to ensure that we do not run out of solutions at a time of crisis. Leaders should mobilize our communities for disease prevention and health promotion in order to avoid all these preventable diseases.
Dr. Parinka Perizik, the coordinator health systems at the World Health Organization office in Uganda, said that the global COVID-19 pandemic is affecting the whole of humanity and it has a global impact in all areas and is leading to setbacks in health gains and efforts to achieving universal health coverage and the sustainable development goals. Dr. Parinka said that World Health Organization appreciates and urged all stakeholders to continue the outstanding work in creating, strengthening, promoting and supporting an environment for research, innovation, learning and data sharing between and within countries. Professor Francis Omaswa, in his keynote address, said COVID-19 pandemic is an opportunity to rethink the health system in the country. He said the disease outbreaks can bring a country to a standstill and therefore public health must not be left to the market. Other presentations were from Dr. Richard Idro, who called for the need to nurture health insurance for Ugandans and also called upon government to implement the salary increment that was promised 6 years ago. The 2 days conference is running under the theme, What is Health Sector We Want? Reporting for UBC TV News, Stephen Kanakulia, Sempa.
Ugandans' response to President Museveni's call for vaccination ahead of the full reopening next year seems to be yielding fruits, with the big turn-up realized at vaccination centres. Government set a target of 4.8 million people to have been vaccinated by January 2021.
Many stakeholders, including companies and individuals, have come up to advocate for the vaccination against COVID-19 exercise to pave way for the opening of the economy by early next year. Persons seeking vaccination services include nationals and refugees. Some Eritrean refugees were taking the jab to protect them against COVID-19.
Second time to take this vaccine because the coronavirus is a pandemic disease and killing more million people.
Nga njagala ne bannanga bali eyo bajje babageme osobola tugulawo mu January 2022 tudde ku mirimu gyaffe n'abaana baffe basobola okuddayo okusoma nga abazadde ffe tuyigiriza abato okukola ki okubuuka. So
amongst those who turned up for their first shot was Johnny Sebyala, a resident of Kasubi, a Kampala suburb.
Era kindeese kwe kwegemesa olw'okuba nina ebizibu bya kuzzaayo abaana ku masomero nga bayinza okuŋŋaana. Era nina ne ofiisi z'abantu ze nsobola okugendamu tebakyayinza ne baŋŋaana okuyingira. N'emirimu emirala gye mbeerako ng'egy'obuvunaanyizibwa bayinza okuŋŋaana okukola ki?
On vaccines' side effects, including impotence among men, an earlier clarification by the Minister of ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomuns, seems to have erased the fears.
Omulundi gwange gwakubiri nga nfuna akayiso naye nga mu kusooka ekizibu kyokka kye nasanga side effect gye nafuna yali pain we baakuba akayiso yokka teri kirala.
Okuva mu buto kyemanyi kasita gavumenti eleeta omulanga okugamba nti abantu mwegemese, nze sikiinaamu buzibu kubanga nagemesa polio nengemesa measles saafuna buzibu bwonna. Tesaawa zino sisuubira nti gavumenti yeyina okusaanyawo abantu baayo. Ffe tuyina okugoberera emitendera gavumenti gyebe tuteereddewo.
Sikirinako bukakafu ekiraga mbuno simbu kikeneza amaanyi g'ekisajja, sikirinako bukakafu olw'ensonga nti gwe gumuli gwange okusobola okukola ki okujja okwegemesa. Sikirinako nnyo bukakafu ekyo.
Like impotence are not recorded as side effects which were observed, and I'm sure most of us men in this house who are very active, we have received 2 doses. Personally, I have received the 2 doses.
The Minister of Health has been mobilizing the public to embrace vaccination, assuring its capability and commitment to avail them enough drugs.
Individuals that are eligible and without any form of identification will still be vaccinated using a next of kin means of identification.
According to statistics from the Minister of Health, over 3.4 million Ugandans have so far been vaccinated out of the 4.8 million targeted by the end of December this year. I'm Ivan Juko, reporting for UBC News.
State House Anti-Corruption Unit, together with the Assistant Head of Operations ACP Namoza Dennis has arrested the DPC of Kasanda District, Majezi Jaffa, and 5 land dealers in Manyogaseka. The district police commander, Kasanda District, Majezi Jaffa, is to face charges related to negligence of duty when he failed to play his role in protecting the people of Manyogaseka with their property by letting a land dealer, David Mugume Rabunyoro, to butcher 6 people over 159 acres of land. The head of State House Anti-Corruption, Colonel Edith Nakalema, paid a courtesy visit to the affected residents of Manyogaseka village in Kasanda district.
The head of State House Anti-Corruption Unit, Colonel Edith Nakalema, has visited Manyogaseka sub-county to know the root cause of the conflict between the residents and David Mugume Rabunyoro. It is alleged that David Mugume Rabunyoro, on 27th October 2021, hired panga-wielding men that injured 6 relatives of the late Cyril Jackson's family over 150 acres dispute land situated in Manyogaseka sub-county in Ramujanyi village in Kasanda district. During the visit, residents of Manyogaseka expressed concern over increasing cases of land grabbing in their area.
Abantu barugoko bejana polisi y'urukurego ankoma mazire myaka 3 ndiyo muchomi nkarga yo kwezi kwa kashatu biro bishatu twatwatera badira aba bantu tubagamba badira aba bantu bonano badira nambona munagamba badira ikiro bantera amasasi ningano bantema Rabunyoro yagumiza munecho nakosa semwayi.
The chairperson Manyogaseka sub-county Kamgisha Frank said Rabunyoro has been a threat to the area after he had panga-wielding men to harass the family of the late Cyril Jackson.
When we reported at Kasanda, a day just people were still making statements, but people came from CID headquarters from Chibuli. They picked the file immediately and took away the file. I asked also to come and investigate about dealers because you see, when they have arrested them, the community is very happy.
The head of State House Anti-Corruption Unit, Colonel Edith Nakalema, blamed the DPs of Kasanda District, Majezi Jaffa, Osi Manyogaseka Manya Godwin, and the RDC Namunindwa Feibe over neglecting their duty.
Omuntu yenna omunansi nga akolebwako obulabe omuntu yenna wa security oyimukirako tojja kukuuma nti kibuke ogweko ennaku 3 poliisi yaliwa DPC where you stand up.
Their efforts to explain the root cause of the allegations fell on the deaf ears as the evidence penning them was overwhelming.
We have been complaining about manpower as Kasanda. Recently twafuna aba investors they were breaking in and it is on record. Naye wesanga nga tulina okuma investors poliisi yemu erina okugenda ku ttaka lya Mr. Bida Alam yemu erina okuma abakisiita kubanga tulina president yawa directive abekisiita babe nga bakoze eki bavuddeyo by November.
The DPC Kasanda District Majezi Jaffa and the OC Manyogaseka Godwin Amanya were arrested over neglect of duty. Also arrested were land dealers in Kasanda District, whom residents say were part of the problem. These include Tandeka Josam, Nyindo David, Kanyate Frank, and Mugabo Frank. Colonel Edith Nakalema, however, asked residents to stay calm, promising to solve their problem through courts of law.
We are going to work with them as a community to ensure that their issues are resolved, and also Ministry of Lands and courts of law. Again, police must investigate all these matters that have been raised.
In attendance was the Assistant Head of Operations Police, ACP Namoza Dennis, who assured residents protection.
Njagala kumeka sure tubalekera personnel aba police abana bakuma ku kyalo teri muntu yenna agenda kola ki agenda kukusumbua. Area OC bakusonyiye, but for us nga police tetugenda musonyiwa. It is unlawful omuntu okubera kuba deployize ku mulimu n'avaawo n'aleka abantu n'abataakinga.
David Mugume Rabunyoro, who is now in custody at Mitiana Government Prison, is facing 3 counts of murder, attempted murder, aggravated robbery. Although he pleaded not guilty to all the alleged offences, the case was resumed on 2nd December 2021 at Mubende Chief Magistrates Court. Deborah Namamonde, Nantongo Rebecca, UBC News.
KAGADI Resident District Commissioner Lilian Ruteraho has recommended the use of carbofuran, an insecticide, while treating the dead as a way of reducing alleged cases of cannibalism in the region. Ruteraho was addressing residents of Isunga sub-county on issues of exhuming bodies. We have more.
Residents of Gisunga sub-county Kagadi district have vowed to deal with alleged cannibals exhuming and eating their loved ones. The increase of these cases has made Kagadi Resident District Commissioner Lilian Ruteraho into holding an emergency meeting regarding the matter and recommended the use of carbofuran to treat dead bodies so that they are not eaten.
Dudu matoche ni mjimanya omurjungu niyo barukweta furdani tinku manyo murnyoro numjeta nu furdani azitomba nyankore mbajeta dudu matoche ko kujito muntu yamuri yafa owamukwata wafa owakora burchu mbene hata muntu yaguma yafo bano mwana imwe mujumuteke mufurdani echo kubanza nabatachigaruka higuru mbene mute mufurdani na nora amuriye afenawo echo mwanya tegereza mbene buri mutumbi gwona ngokora mbene hata itwa kana ho kushabera buri mutumbi gwona mukutera chi furdani kujango mutora akwateho agende nagwo na wakura to mutumbo natukwe echo nacheza hato mchema nompriri.
Furadan is a pesticide scientifically called carbofuran and is widely used to control agricultural pests, mites among others, and is fatal to humans. The RDC made the remarks in a mediation meeting with a family accused of witchcraft practices in Nyakavira village, Gisunga sub-county, Kagadi district.
Technicalities ziri mukuri abantu so kuzikenga umwishcraft tosobora kuzikenga hiro buri oli murya mugenzi we rundi oli musabi abaino moyo wa ruhanga habwo kuba yonera imyoyo omoyo gwa stani no moyo gwa ruhanga bimanyangana baito omuntu ataine moyo wa stani undi ataine moyo wa ruhanga no muri atoso kumubonaho asokuraba halimbwa.
Ruteraho warned people against mob justice after a family survived lynching. Sub-counties with cases of cannibalism include Gisunga, Bwekara, Chaterekera, among others. Gisunga, Bwekara, Chaterekera, among others.
All right, now TUNAWEZA Foundation Uganda is to continue with counseling services of people living with disabilities introduced by United Nations Central Emergency Response Project following the increasing cases of gender-based violence. Now, this has been disclosed by the Executive Director, TUNAWEZA Foundation Uganda, Victoria Nalule, at a meeting with persons with disability during the closure of the United Nations Central Emergency Response Project.
Persons living with disabilities are among the people grappling with gender-based violence, requiring the need to continuous counseling and engagement. The Executive Director, TUNAWEZA Foundation, Victoria Nalule, thanked UN Women and United Nations Central Emergency Project for helping people living with disabilities at the height of COVID-19 lockdown period.
We've done a lot of counseling with people with disability. As you've heard, we've heard from our counsellor, Mylene, that we've been having different kind of sessions, the in-house and then the physical counseling, but then also the online counseling we've been going on. This is going to continue going forward because we find like most of the person living with disability, they always need someone to talk to. They always have some kind of like gender-based violence issues are still on the rise. And for that reason, we believe the counseling services will really be a great support, even to know and to lobby for more funding for our people we are supporting.
Over 300 persons have been given cash transfers and financial literacy with support of duty bearers. Victoria Nalule says they have also brought the men on board, especially those that have suffered gender-based violence.
Because when we are in the field, you find like most of our beneficiaries were like, yes, we are aware of these issues, but when we go to report, we don't get support. Or our leaders don't know what we are going through. As the TUNAWEZA Foundation, we had male engagement, duty bearer, paralegals in different capacities, that is the police, the lawyers, the mayors, and that was a success. That our lawyers, our policemen, our local leaders, they are behind us to see that they can stop the gender-based violence, which is really a big success.
TUNAWEZA Foundation has empowered persons living with disabilities by giving out wheelchairs to the elderly and young persons, and emphasized the need to save.
And see, most of the people with disability, they have a big challenge on mobility. Most of them, they can't move from one place to another. You've seen women having children they have to carry, but they can't support them, and they need some kind of mobility. And as in this project, the sub-project, we've managed to give wheelchairs to elderlies, we've given wheelchairs to the young people, and then the women themselves. That has been a big success for this project.
TUNAWEZA Foundation Uganda, while meeting persons living with disabilities at St. Paul Primary School in Zambia, gave out saving books for groups to register their savings. So that Kai, UBC News.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but we return with more stories. Don't move an inch.
Today in history.
The United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution condemning South Africa's racist apartheid policies in the country following the 1960 massacre of unarmed demonstrators at Sharpeville near Johannesburg, South Africa, in which 69 black people were killed and over 180 were injured. The international movement to end apartheid gained wide support. Later in 1996, the South African Truth and Reconciliation Commission began an investigation into human rights violation under the apartheid system.
Everyone is talking about MTN shares. I am Jenny Kafulua Shares, and I am here to show you how you can get them. First, you need a Securities Central Depository account, or SCD account in short, and you can open one right now using MTN Momo. It's free of charge. Just get your phone and your national ID, and let me show you how. Now, why do you need an SCD account? Well, because every time you get shares in any company, well, including MTN, your shares are going to be kept in this account. But this is not a bank account, and you don't need to go anywhere to open it. So is your phone and your national ID ready? Good. Let me show you how to open your SCD account. First, dial *165*65# or use my MTN app. Then select option 1 to submit SCD account application. Then enter your full national ID number or NIN. Next, select your preferred stockbroker and then choose option 1 to accept the terms and conditions. Lastly, enter your mobile money PIN and wait for confirmation, which you will receive on SMS. Oh, by the way, stockbrokers are the people authorized to help you buy or sell any listed company shares, so you need to choose one. That's it. Once you have your SCD account, you're ready to start applying for your MTN shares for as low as 100,000 shillings for 500 shares.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Introducing the all-new Roofing's TMX 500C rebars with cut and bend surfaces. Roofing's, strength of a nation.
You know, you could just buy a new smartphone from anywhere in Uganda.
Dial *175 *94 hash to activate a 100% double data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles for 3 months. Better yet, you automatically receive free 1 GB valid for 30 days. You are hooked already, aren't you? Enjoy a 100% double data bonus from Airtel. Buy a smartphone from anywhere in Uganda and insert an Airtel SIM card. Dial *175 *94 hash to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Dial *175 hash and select your preferred bundle to activate a 100% data bonus offer on weekly or monthly bundles, valid for 3 months. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Kagadi no twalekedde ekyatulese tuzze tukalanga enfunda eziwerako ddala eno yeko TV Super eyabakaguje njagala wekaanyi ewatali kwemamaaza olwo tuba tusimbudde neko TV Super dupa wawawa era nga bakutuusyako ekiga ekyabakabejja abasajja enwaŋŋuli kwogata ne busineema obujjudde omuhabati ku $5,015 wawawa soka blaza weefunye ekirungo kya Go TV Super ekijjudde obulungi ove mu baaje.
Raising Voices.
I feel happy when my father spends time with me. I hope all fathers will like my father. I want my father to reach out to all fathers. He knows how important it is to be a good father. I promise to help my father inspire other fathers to change.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising Voices.
Well, welcome back from that break, and we're glad that you're still watching UBC News Tonight. Now, in more news, the Director of Criminal Investigations, AIGP Grace Akulo, has praised the Lord for saving her from the deadly COVID-19, which has bedridden her for almost 3 months. Now, in the Thanksgiving ceremony at her home in Chira, AIGP Grace Akulo testified the agony of the intensive care unit and thanked the Almighty for the pick from the dungeons. We have more.
The Director of Criminal Investigations, AIGP Grace Akulo, was admitted to Mulago Hospital ICU after testing positive for COVID-19. AIGP Grace Akulo survived and has organized a thanks ceremony to praise God for the lease of lease.
I'd like first of all to thank God for having allowed us to reach this point. Now, what happened was that my wife had isolated herself for some time. She had stayed away, although we were staying in the same room, but she was in a different corner. She had isolated herself. Then 2 days to go to the hospital, she became weak. She could not actually leave the room. Then that Monday, she told me, "Can you please take me to check on my doctor?" Unfortunately, that day I had a class to conduct, class for some PhD students. So I told her, "Let me first conduct these classes."
Grace Akulo tells the story of her sickness and what she went through for the period she was admitted and after.
Then they say, "We are going to admit you." And from there I was admitted, as you already said. I was taken the second day from the women's hospital, and they took me to ICU. No, from ICU, veins were not there. That's what I remember. Later on, things became bad. After they got the veins, things became bad. I don't know what happened. And so for some time, and so I stayed there. Whatever my sister, Dr. Ruth, is saying, that I should not look left, right, she would talk when she's a very calm lady.
Akulo praised the Mulago medical personnel for working tirelessly to save her life and of many others like her.
Doctors from Mulago, led by, you can sit, thank you so much, led by Dr. Horodia, please stand up. for recognition. Dr. Justice, Dr. Tim is the one you have seen in front here, who has become my brother. The medical people, stand up kindly for recognition. From Mulago, all of you from, most of them are actually from the, not only from Mulago, but ICU COVID. There's ICU and there's ICU COVID.
The function was attended by relatives and friends, plus some government officials. The Minister of Health, Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng, advised the public to utilize government facilities, especially for the deadly illnesses.
Allow me to thank each and every person who worked in the ICU, whom I talked to, who gave me information. I don't want to mention names because I can make a mistake and I miss the names. But these teams of mine are wonderful. They are our heroes in this time. The last speech His Excellency made, he said actually, this war is being fought by the health workers. And he thanked them. It is a very difficult war. When you're fighting something you cannot see, you can only see its effect in people. COVID is, I don't know how to describe it, but it moves in the dark. You can't see it. It can even be amongst us here. You only get to know when somebody is sick. There are many people who have passed through Mulago. Yes, we have lost some, but we have saved many. We have saved many, and we thank God.
The prayers to praise God for the mercy and healing power were presided over by Pastor Robert Kenja of the Miracle Center Cathedral.
I think that may lose his life.
Abdul Nasile Lubwama, UBC News.
And now into sports. A 72nd minute penalty kick by Fauzia Najemba was all Uganda needed to beat Tanzania by 1-0 in the ongoing Sekafa Under-20 Women's Championship in Njeru. Going into the game, Uganda knew that victory is all it needed to maintain big hopes of winning the 6th Nation Championship that climaxes on Tuesday. After a scoreless first half, Uganda upped the ante in the second period and was duly rewarded by the tournament's top scorer Fauzia Najemba. Now Uganda enters the final match day on Tuesday next week against Ethiopia, knowing that avoidance of defeat will earn it in the championship title. This is because, as it stands, both Ethiopia and Uganda are on 12 points, but Uganda better on goal difference. The other games on the final day will feature Burundi against Eritrea and Djibouti facing Tanzania.
Considering what happened in the previous games, some are being stopped from Burundi in the first game.
It is Ziberi, the goalkeeper, up against Najemba. Scores that one inside. Finally, Uganda is back on things. They are leading here by 1-0 over Tanzania. Najemba Fauzia this time does not disappoint from the spot kick and buries.
Alright, now UBC News Tonight has come to an end, but let's first take another look at tonight's headlines.
Brought to you by
How to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Tonight's headlines: cannibalism sets KAGADI residents on edge. Well, thanks God, Mulago Hospital after surviving COVID-19. Kasanda police chiefs arrested over land disputes. And in sports, Uganda ages Tanzania in Sekafa goes top with 1 round to play.
Was brought to you by Everywhere You Go, MTN.
We'd like to thank you so much for your company this evening, but do join us for our second edition of UBC News Tonight at 10 o'clock. I'm Lauryn Kazimoto and Mugalu Mohammed in Sign Language. We'll see you then.